the SpongeBob SquarePants movie. Chapter 1. We begin our story under calm blue waters near the beautiful green island of Bikini Atoll. Beneath those tropical seas, we find the town of Bikini Bottom, a peaceful place where everyone is happy and. Wait a minute! Hold your seahorses! Things were usually happy at Bikini Bottom, but on this day there was a panic in the streets. Sirens wailed and frightened fish swam in all directions. Police helicopters buzzed over the town, and cars blocked the intersections. The condition was so bad that classes at the school of fish were canceled. In front of the Krusty Krab restaurant, a crowd had gathered. Mr. Krabs, the owner, was talking to, to reporters who clustered around waving microphones under his nose and pressing cameras into his face. Can you tell us what is happening, Mr. Krabs? Asked a young reporter from the Daily Clam. Wait, please slow it down, said Mr. Krabs, waving his claws. One question at a time, please. One at a time. The people of Bikini Bottom want to know what's going on inside, asked Perkins, Bikini Bottom's favorite newsman. We're gonna see a solution in there that I will not talk about until my manager gets here. Suddenly, a sleek black sports car pulled up to the curb. Look! Cried Mr. Krabs. There he is! Her eyes and eye stalks turned to see SpongeBob SquarePants step out of the black car. His face was somber, his eyes hidden behind sunglasses. In his hand, and the determined Sponge carried an important-looking briefcase. It's SquarePants! A fish cried out in a voice filled with awe. SpongeBob walked up to Mr. Krabs and tore off his sunglasses. Talk to me, Krabs, he said in a commanding voice. It started out as a simple order, Mr. Krabs sobbed. A Krabby Patty with cheese. So what went wrong? Asked SpongeBob. When the customer took a bite, Mr. Krabs choked and continued to sob. Was no cheese. Mr. Krabs cried. No cheese on a sandwich. This had never happened before. Mr. Krabs broke down. He covered his eye stalks with his claws and sobbed. SpongeBob slapped him on the snout. Get a hold of yourself, Eugene, said SpongeBob. I'm going in. Mr. Krabs stopped crying and sighed with relief. SpongeBob turned and faced the restaurant. Reporters and inconsent bystanders backed away under his stern gaze. The crowd parted to make a path for him, a path that led to the front door of the Krusty Krab. SpongeBob boldly entered the restaurant. The dining room was deserted except for one very frightened fish sitting alone at the table. On a tray in front of him sat a Krabby Patty with single bite missing. Fiercely, SpongeBob SquarePants walked over to the extinct fish. Who are you? The fish asked in a shaky voice. I'm the manager of this establishment, replied SpongeBob in a business soft tone. Then SpongeBob slapped his briefcase down on the table. The nervous fish jumped at the sound. Everything is going to be fine, SpongeBob said in a calm voice, but the poor fish just shook his head. I'm very scared, man. You got a name? The fish nodded. Phil. You got a family, Phil? The fish got choked up and began to cry. SpongeBob snapped his fingers in front of Phil's face. Come on, Phil. Stay with me. Let's hear about the family. That family. I got a lovely wife and two beautiful children. Phil stammered. That's what it's all about, Phil, SpongeBob replied as Phil watched nervously. SpongeBob reached into his briefcase, then he looked up at Phil. I got only one shot at this, SpongeBob warned. Gonna have the right tools for the job. SpongeBob paused, feeling through his briefcase. Then he looked up and whispered, Bingo, Slowly, he pulled out a pair of shiny gold tongs. Now, I want you to do me a favor, Phil, SpongeBob said. What? The fish gasped. Say cheese. With that, SpongeBob placed a perfectly cut slice of yellow cheese in the center of the bun. Then he looked up in Phil's grateful, smiling face. Success! Many minutes later, SpongeBob came out as a Krusty Krab's front door, looking pleased with himself. He carried Phil safely in his arms. Order up, SpongeBob said. Customers cheered and flocked to fill the tables. SpongeBob was lifted into the air and carried through town to crowd's shoulders. On the crowd's shoulders, all around him, confetti fluttered down like snow. 3 cheers for the manager, they cried. Hip hip honk. What? SpongeBob said sleepily. Hip hop honk. And just like that, the dream was over. SpongeBob SquarePants sat up in his bed and blinked his eyes. Honk! He turned off his alarm clock before it honked again. Hooray! SpongeBob cried, throwing off his blanket. Gary, I had that dream again, and it's finally going to come true today. He reached over to the calendar. Sorry about this, calendar, SpongeBob said, as he tore away yesterday's page. The day underneath on the calendar read March 7th. SpongeBob stepped back and admired the calendar. Today is the grand opening ceremony of the Krusty Krab 2, where Mr. Krabs is going to announce the new manager. Meow, said Gary, and the little snail slid over to SpongeBob's side. Who is it going to be, Gary? SpongeBob said. Then he got an idea. I know. Why don't we ask many of all 374 service employees in the map awards? SpongeBob SquarePants! Yelled all 374 pictures of SpongeBob on the wall. Hooray for me, said SpongeBob as he ran to the bathroom to get ready for work. While he showered, he sang, I'm ready, promotion, I'm ready, promotion. In the shower, SpongeBob took the paper off a bar of soap and ate the whole bar of soap. Then he soaked water up until he was so inflated he could hardly fit in the bathroom. Holding his nose and closing his mouth, SpongeBob made 2 fists and strained. Bubbles and water poured out of his sponge holes. Soon SpongeBob was back to normal size and clean as a whistle. Still thrilled about his soon-to-be promotion, SpongeBob danced over to the closet. He searched until he found the perfect SquarePants for this special day. The same square shorts and shirt he always wore. When he was dressed, SpongeBob ran back to the bathroom. He pulled down the brush and squeezed the tub of toothpaste. SpongeBob brushed his teeth, then his ears and his eyeballs until they sparkled. SpongeBob admired his reflection in the mirror. Cleanliness is next to manliness, he declared. Then the happy sponge gave a little Gary his breakfast and skipped off to work. As he went, SpongeBob was still singing, I'm ready, promotion, I'm ready, promotion. He sang until he got to Squidward's house. Squidward's house was right next door. Without bothering to knock, SpongeBob opened the door and walked right in. Stay tuned for chapter 2 coming up soon.